Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another planty video. Today I thought it would be fun to show you some of the plants that I just don't feature on my channel or talk about a lot for whatever reason. Most of them I do really love still, so I'm excited to share them with you. Once you've watched the video, leave me a comment down below and let me know if you knew that I had all of these plants or if any of them surprised you. I have the monkey down here being a little pest. Huh? Are you being a pesty? Are you being a pesty? Yeah. Okay, we are starting off with one that doesn't look like much right now, and I really haven't shown a lot on my channel. I did make a video about this plant on Patreon when I first got it. I repotted it and everything on there. But as for YouTube, like I said, I haven't featured it much. It's not doing amazing, but I have a vision, and I'm hoping that it's going to meet that vision one day. The plant is none other than my Peperomia prostrata, or string of turtles. So I got this, I think in December. Yeah, I've had it for just a few months and it was doing so poorly, you guys. I got it at the big box store for like $8 or something, and I repotted it when I got home and I preventatively sprayed it for pests. I took some cuttings of it because I wasn't sure if it was gonna make it. The original leaves that it came with are pretty much the ones that just look like kind of light and bleached on the top. They don't look super healthy. And then the new growth are the darker, smaller ones that are kind of trailing down. That's all new growth, which I'm actually really happy about because, you know, at least this plant is continuing to live and it's growing for me. It obviously doesn't look amazing, but that's better than just losing the whole plant, right? And as you can see, it actually has a lot of blooms right now too. Like, yeah, they're kind of everywhere, just sticking up like crazy. So I don't really talk about this plant a lot just for the reason that it's mostly been in rehab mode since I got it. I've just been trying to revive it and get it to kind of fill out and just get some more healthy growth on it. It lives in my Millsbo tall cabinet on the highest shelf, so it's getting a lot of light. I try to water it once it gets dry, and other than that, I don't really do anything special. It obviously is getting higher humidity in the cabinet as well, and I think it appreciates that. I've been told that the key to these is just bright light, so I'm rolling with that. And like I said, it looks like it's turning around. It looks like it's doing a lot better than it was even a couple of months ago with the new growth and everything, so I'm really happy about that. I love string of turtles so much. You guys know I love trailing plants and like string ofs, but this one in particular, when I see people have full pots of this, it is just like, wow, it blows me away. I think that it is so, so gorgeous. This is one that I just love looking at photos of and videos and everything. I think that it's just like such a phenomenal plant, and I love that these are popping up at big box stores and local plant stores, at least where I am. It's pretty accessible, which is nice. My plan for this plant is just to let it grow out a little bit more. Hopefully it starts growing a little bit quicker and more robustly during the spring, and then I'm going to take some cuttings and work on filling out this pot. I don't know if I'll keep it in this pot or what I'm gonna do, but yeah, I just really want to fill this plant out and see it grow more, and I can't wait to see where it's gonna be, you know, like a year or 2 years from now. My fingers are crossed. Okay, next is one that I actually love, but I was kind of neglecting for a while just because I didn't have a good spot for it in my home. This was a wishlist plant from last year, so yeah, obviously I like this plant quite a bit, and it is none other than my Fernleaf Cactus, which, oh my goodness, oh, I just love it so much. It's so pretty. Oh, mine's kind of thirsty right now, actually. It's kind of floppy. I got this plant last, oh my gosh, have I had it for a year now? Honestly, coming up to a year, I think. I think I got it at the beginning of last summer. I'm sure I did some sort of haul on it back then because I got it in a package of a bunch of wishlist plants. When I got like my Begonia amphioxus and everything, I think that was when I got this one as well. And it came to me with these beautiful big leaves already. Like, oh my goodness, it is just so gorgeous. First of all, I love jungle cactus. Like, I used to have a big rickrack cactus and I love that so much. I just think that they're so beautiful and they're really easy to take care of as well. I treat this pretty much the same as the rest of my plants. I just water when it dries out and give it like indirect bright light. So yeah, pretty easy care, and I love just like the big frond shaped leaves. Oh, it is just so cool. Look at the weird aerial roots it gets on the bottom as well. Yeah, like I said, the reason I just haven't shown this a lot is because it's just been neglected a little bit. Like I said, it was living on my floor for a while and just not really getting enough light, and it just wasn't super happy. Now it's living on my mother forest stand, so it has its own personal grow light and its own little spot, and it's doing a lot better. I'm getting a lot of new growth. As you can see, this is new, still coming in. This is new. There's a lot of new growth coming in on this right now, so I think it's gonna have a really great growing season. I'm really excited for this to fill out. I need to up pot it soon as well. I think that it's fairly root bound in here, so I should probably get on that. But yeah, I just think that these are so beautiful. Like I said, I love jungle cactus like this. Of course, you guys know I love like my Thanksgiving cactus. And I think that the name definitely intrigued me on this one a little bit as well. Well, the common name at least, the Fernleaf Cactus, obviously, because my name is Fern, so very fun. But yeah, love this one a lot. I'm sure that you guys will see it more often coming up here in the future, because now I'm just kind of putting more effort and energy into caring for it, and I'm just appreciating it a little bit more. So yeah, Fernleaf Cactus. Okay, next is a Hoya, and I think that this is probably one that you guys like see in my cabinet sometimes, but I never really have talked much about it, and I've actually had it for a couple of years now. And that is my Hoya Serpens. It actually looks so good right now. Like, wow. It's starting to really fill out. I feel like it took a while for this to kind of like get established and start growing, and for me to figure out its care, because this definitely likes a little bit more water than some of my other Hoyas. So I feel like for a long time I was just underwatering it too much, and as you can see, it's just in this small little pot, so it needs watering fairly frequently, and if I don't meet the watering standards, then it's just going to drop its new leaves, so it's really important for me to keep up on that. But I feel like I've been doing a better job of that recently. I'm like back on top of my watering game, like I said a little while ago, so this one is doing fairly well. Like, there's a lot of new growth coming in on it right now, which is so satisfying. I love this Hoya so much. This was a wishlist Hoya from the very beginning. When I was first getting into houseplants, I remember seeing this and just being like, wow, like that is so cool. I love the small leaves. I love how it's fuzzy. I love the like snake head shape of the leaves. It is just so unique. I would be so thrilled if this bloomed for me one day. I can't even imagine. That would just be so cool. I would really have to be on top of my watering then. But yeah, I feel like I just haven't talked about this a lot because, I don't know, it's kind of like a small plant that kind of just got like snuck into a corner in my cabinet, and I've just kind of let it do its thing, and it stayed small for so long, and it was just growing slowly, and there was never really anything like crazy happening with it, so I never really featured it in any of my like favorites videos or anything, even though I guess I would consider this one of my favorite Hoya, when it's doing well for me at least. I noticed at the beginning of winter when temperatures really dropped, this was not happy. It was losing leaves. It did not enjoy that. But now that it's warming up in here again, the days are a little bit longer. I think it's already starting to become a lot happier. So I'm feeling really good about that. There's vines coming out of everywhere on here, honestly. Like, yeah, I've got like so many new growth points. I don't know if you can see on this side. Look at all those vines, and almost all of them are actively growing, which is really cool. So I think that this is really gonna start like filling out and getting pretty long soon, which is exciting. So probably another one that you guys will be seeing more often on here. But yeah, this one really deserves more attention than I give it, because like, wow, look how cute. Oh my gosh, we actually have a peduncle right here. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if that flowered? I'm trying to show you. Do you see that? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm really gonna keep up on my watering and my fertilizing, and we'll see if anything comes of that. I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but that is still really cool to see. All right, next we have one that I've had for a long time. This is honestly one of the Hoya that I've had the longest, and that is my Hoya Yeti Eye. As you can see, it's quite a full pot. Look at this, like wow, it's looking pretty lush. it really ebbs and flows. Sometimes this plant is having a hard time and then it bounces back and it just turns this like beautiful deep green again and starts looking healthy again. And that definitely happens with the seasons. In winter it's not too happy because it's in a window that doesn't really get a ton of light, and it kind of like goes dormant in a way. It doesn't really grow throughout the winter, and then once spring comes, like right now, it's starting to perk up a little bit again. I don't really see any new growth, but I can just tell by the color that it's doing a little bit better. I feel like the reason I don't show this a lot on my channel is just because, again, it doesn't really do too much. Like, it just kind of hangs out in its spot and that's it. Like, it's never growing like crazy. It's never bloomed for me. I mean, it's beautiful and it's very full, as you can see. I love looking at it from the top because not a lot of my Hoya are this full. So yeah, I really appreciate this. I used to really want the variegated, oops, I'm breaking part of the leaf. I'm just gonna finish it, break it off. Okay, it was already kind of, yeah, okay, anyways. I used to really want the variegated version of this, or the Kentiana or whatever it is. Looks like this, but with variegation. However, I've heard that that grows so like painfully slow, and this already grows incredibly slow for me, so I don't really know if I want to go ahead and get the variegated version. I think I might just be content with the green version. I would, however, love to see this bloom one year. I just think that that would be so cool. I'll probably have to increase the light in order for that to happen. But yeah, this plant has been with me for a long time. I have thought of just like sticking it on the curb and letting someone pick it up many times, but I've never done it, so it's still with me today. I actually got this from North Shore Tropicals, I think at the same time I got my Albosingonium, like years ago, and I remember I got it because it was just like a $5 plant, like it's just like a $5 add-on, and I was like, okay, might as well. So we got this one, and yeah, now it came in just like a little 4-inch, and now it's, you know, a pretty lush plant. I just wish it would grow a little bit longer. It doesn't seem to be a Hoya that like vines out a lot, and I don't know if that's just mine. I'll have to look up pictures on Instagram or something and see what other people's looks like, but yeah, this is my Hoya Yeti Eye. Okay, next on my list I have a Peperomia, and this is one that I got as cuttings last summer. So I rooted those and then potted it up, and now it's turned into quite a beautiful plant. So this is my Peperomia Hope, and as you can see, it's actually gotten quite long. I have grown to really love this plant. It's funny because it was never on my wish list or anything, but people have commented many times, oh, I think you would really enjoy Peperomia Hope, you should check it out, and I never did. And then I was gifted cuttings of this, and now I'm like, oh, okay, makes sense. I do really like this plant. So it has the round foliage that I really like. I am into any plant that has round foliage, and I especially love that this one trails. I think it's so cute, especially now that it's filling out. I want this to fill out even more. I think that it would look so good. I wonder how long it can get. I know some people trellis these also, which looks really nice, but I really like the trailing vibe. Oh my goodness, it's got cute new growth coming in. How exciting. The reason that I haven't talked about this a ton is because it's honestly kind of the same situation as my Fernleaf Cactus. It was in a spot where it wasn't getting a ton of light. I wasn't really caring for it the best. It was just kind of, it was surviving but not thriving type of vibe, you know? But recently within like the past few months, I've moved it again to a spot where it has a grow light. It's just being cared for a little bit better, and it has started doing so well and growing a ton. Once that started happening, I really started appreciating it a little bit more and just noticing like, wow, this plant is really growing a lot. It's very easy care. Like, I really do not do much to care for this plant. It has a thick succulent type leaf, so it can tolerate my underwatering pretty well. And yeah, it's getting some pretty big leaves. Like, look at these. This is like, wow, pretty big. Yeah, I really like it, and I'm excited to, I'm actually probably going to chop this at some point this spring and then add the cuttings back in, because you can see that there's lots of room in the pot here. I'm quite impressed with my experience with this plant so far. I have very little experience with Peperomia. Oh, it's funny, there's 2 Peperomia on this list. We started with the Peperomia. I have 3 in my collection now, and they're all, well, the string of turtles is not doing too well, but I'm impressed that this one is doing quite well because I do not know a lot about Peperomia. I wonder if this one blooms. Huh. Yeah, kind of fun. I still have, you know, a lot to learn about this plant, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Okay, next we have one that people have commented recently, like within the past couple months, that they didn't even know that I had this plant, because I did show it in, oh my gosh, oh, there's new growth coming in, oh my gosh, okay. I'll show you in a second. But I just hadn't really shown this plant because, again, it doesn't do anything. This is honestly like the hardest Hoya in my opinion, the slowest growing Hoya. I don't know, I cannot nail it down, and it really frustrates me. So that's a reason that I haven't shown it a lot, because I just haven't really had a great experience growing it. And the second reason is because this is tied to my utility cart, or it was. I recently changed the trellis out for a bamboo stake, and I'll show you the plant. But before I did that, it was very topsy-turvy and it had to be secured to my utility cart, so I didn't like move it out of the room a lot or include it in many videos. But it is quite big, and this is the Albo marginata, obviously, the outer variegated Hoya Kerrii. I've struggled with this for years since I got it. This is honestly also one of the first Hoya that I got. Like, yeah, it was a long time ago that I got this. In 2019, they were popping up in plant stores here everywhere, and I remember it was like a craze. Like, everybody went out and got them, and I feel like a lot of people have struggled like me since then. But it has actually given me some new leaves recently. It does actually have a couple of peduncles, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you'll be able to see. There's one right there, and also it looks like new growth that's trying to come in as well, which is cool. There's like little nubs in different areas, but they take so long to do anything. But what I just noticed at the very top here is a new leaf, or two new leaves coming in there. I hope that's focusing to show you, because yeah, wow, that's pretty freaking cool. I am actually excited to see these come in. I don't remember what happened with this leaf right here. I guess there was one there, but something happened and it's broken off. Definitely my problem child Hoya. Like, some of the leaves just look awful because they do this weird burny thing on the edges, as you can see on these ones, and sometimes they just come in really wonky. If anyone has mastered this plant, please leave a comment down below, because I would love to hear from you. It could really help me out. Okay, we have two left. One of them is one that I absolutely love, but I feel like I haven't talked about it a lot because it's just like in starter plant mode. Like, it hasn't really started taking off for me yet. And that is my Monstera siltepecana. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I literally love this plant so much, you guys. Is it focusing? There we go. Oh, it's just so pretty. The coloring, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? It is so gorgeous with the veining and that just like little hint of like silvery coloring on there. I love the way that this plant looks. You can see we have a new leaf coming in as well. How exciting is that? Yeah, I obviously love this plant a lot. I really like Monstera more than I previously thought I had. Anyways, yeah, I feel like last year I really had a moment where I was like, wait, I have quite a few different Monstera varieties and I really enjoy growing them. And this is one of them. This can be grown trailing or climbing. And I think that what I'm gonna do is do a trailing pot. You can see it's kind of like pointing up right now, like trying to climb nothing. And that's just because the grow light is above it. So it's like reaching up there. It probably would really appreciate if I gave it a pole, but I just love the way that they look when they're trailing. I think that they're so pretty. So what I'm gonna do this spring is just take a few cuttings from this plant, root them, and then fill in this pot a little bit more so we can have multiple vines going. Let me know what you guys think. If you think I should let this plant climb or trail, or if you have one, let me know how you grow it, and if you like growing it that way, I would love to hear that. That could really help me out as well. But yeah, just such an absolutely gorgeous plant. Like I said, I love the coloring. That's really what draws me in. And it's been super easy to care for. Of course, Monstera are typically pretty hardy plants. So yeah, I really love this one. It's one that really catches my eye if I'm like scrolling too and someone posts a photo. I just think it's so beautiful. So yeah, I feel like these don't get as much hype as they deserve. These used to get some hype, like back in the day on Instagram, but I feel like they don't really get hyped as much anymore. But I just think that they're so cool. Maybe I should start posting about this more. There's an idea. Okay, and then my last one is another Hoya, and I feel like I might have actually featured this in a somewhat recent favorites video, maybe like a few months ago or something. but in general I don't talk about it a ton, and that is mostly due to it just being a slow grower. As you can see, I don't have many leaves on this. This is my Hoya Kaimuki, which is a hybrid of, I want to say McGilvery, is that right? I'll put on the screen what it's a hybrid of because I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I really like the slender leaves on this Hoya, and it is like a thicker, sturdier Hoya, which is really nice. I don't know if it's just mine that grows slow. It totally could be. This is kind of another one that I just didn't really give the best care for a while. I mean, it was in my greenhouse cabinet, but then I took it out and I just kind of was like, I don't know, didn't give it the best care, but now it's in a south-facing window, so I think now that we're getting more light, it's really going to start taking off. And I do see that we have a new vine that has started growing there. That's an active vine, so hopefully I'm gonna get some new leaves soon, some new growth, which would be really nice because I would love to see this plant fill out a little bit more. I might actually chop this and propagate these leaves and then just pot them back into the pot, because right now we just have this one weird long vine, which is fine, but it would be really nice to get this pot just a little bit, just get some more cuttings in here, you know? Now, one of the reasons that I like this Hoya and that I'm really excited about growing it is because the blooms are really cool. They're quite unique, and I believe that they're pretty big as well. I'll try to insert a photo on the screen of what they look like, but I remember sometimes when I'm trying to decide how I feel about a Hoya, I look up the blooms, and then if the blooms are wow, then I'm like, okay, yes, definitely need to keep growing this Hoya. And that's what happened with this plant. Once I saw those blooms, I was like, okay, yes, I'm completely sold. Cool leaves, and the blooms also look super epic, so I'm just gonna continue growing this, hopefully fill it out a little bit more. You know what I should do is give it a trellis. This poor thing probably wants a freaking trellis. That is probably gonna be my next move now that I think about it. Anyways, yeah, super cool Hoya, and oh my gosh, not only do I not show this a lot on my channel, but I also just don't really see it around a lot. I don't see other people really post about it, so I don't know. I'm excited about the potential of this plant though. Alright, you guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. I would love to chat with you. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you're interested in bonus content, you can find that on my Patreon. Everything will be linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!